Today we are going to talk about Bitcoin. Do I own any Bitcoin? Why did I or did I not own any Bitcoin? And following another YouTube channel, I've learned that we need to get to the point. So to cut to the chase, I have never bought any single Bitcoin, but I do own some because somebody gave some to me previously. So this video will just be about why I do not see myself buying up any Bitcoins, at least for the foreseeable future, unless there's more knowledge or things that I may not know about Bitcoin surfacing, or me coming to realization on certain things that I do not know about Bitcoin. Other than that, let's get on with it. Hello, Calebby here. Today, I'm going to share why I have not bought any Bitcoin myself. Before that, we need to be clear what Bitcoin is, in case you are the rare few who does not know what a Bitcoin is. You know, like me, I think among my friends, I'm the last person to know what a Bitcoin is. Now, to be really frank, I have no idea. Now, before you dislike this video, please let me explain. And speaking of ideas, do you know what happened to Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer, after he poked his eye when he flew past some thick tree branches? Now let me tell you frankly, I'm no Santa Claus, so I do not know what would happen to Rudolph. I guess after the incident, Santa would have no idea. Get it? No idea. So sorry for wasting your time if you're learning about Bitcoin, what Bitcoin is. So back to the topic. From Wiki, because we all know that we can trust Wikipedia 100%. Everything that's written there are facts. It's the lazy man's dictionary, and I certainly am one. Welcome to the lazy club. Now, according to Wikipedia, Bitcoin is a decentralized digital currency without a single bank or administration or administrator, which could be sent from user to user on a peer-to-peer Bitcoin network without the need for any intermediaries. Very mouthful, but the short version would be it is a currency, supposedly a store of value, much like money. Now there is a difference between money and currency, which we will not get to today because we do not want an 1 hour video. But the difference is it is not issued by any centralized institution. What might be considered a centralized institution might be a central bank, for example, like the MAS in Singapore or the Federal Reserve in the US. And there are also many well-known central banks like the Bank of Japan, the Bank of Spain, and the People's Bank of China, for example. Now don't ask anybody where those banks are located because their name speaks for themselves. Of course, the People's Bank of China is located in China. Come on, if not, it's what? The People's Bank of China of Wakanda. Now these few central banks, except for the MAS, hold large quantities of gold reserves as asset in their bookkeeping, so that the currency that they are issuing has certain intrinsic value to it. You might ask why central bank hold gold. The reason is because for the entire written human history, we have been valuing gold, this metal gold, not the goalpost gold or the gold in soccer, although that gold in soccer is valued highly by soccer fans. But now we are talking about gold, the metal gold, with the element name or symbol of AU. Oh yeah, so central banks hold gold and print money so that their money, the currency that they are printing, whichever currency they are, would have a certain form of intrinsic value to it, a backing, if you may, to the pieces of paper and of course the copper coins or aluminum coins that are in circulation. Now, like I said, currency and money are different things, but for simplicity's sake, we will be using both of these terms interchangeably in this video. So don't judge me for using it wrong. So for Bitcoin, it seeks to emulate the same quality of currency, or actually gold itself has, as a store of value, something that is limited. Some of the reason gold is so highly valued is because it is very limited. Like there's only so much gold on earth that we could mine, and there's still plenty under the earth that weren't mined. But whatever estimates you are using, gold is limited, and gold has many utilities as well. Plus it could be easily moved molded, but it's very heavy of course. Not that it matters now. So what the Bitcoin was initially planned for is being a store of value that is sheltered from government interventions, like central banks who are heavily influenced by government's policies. When they want the economy to go a certain direction, they would allow inflation, for example, to occur naturally, not actually, man-madely, like man-madely. And never mind. So knowing that the Bitcoin's grandiose dream is to become a store of value, a digital store of value not influenced by any government policies, another question might surface: how do we price a single Bitcoin? How much should one Bitcoin be worth? Now for you watching, it might sound very simple. You just log on to Google, type in Bitcoin price, and it will show you how much a Bitcoin is currently worth at market price. But the question is, do you know how much a Bitcoin should be worth? Is it higher or lower than the current market price? Why do I keep talking about price? Because everything has a price. Everything, including but not limited to the $5 or $10 in your wallet or in your pocket if you're lazy to put money in your wallet, or actually for this current situation with a lot of contactless payment, you might not even have $5 to $10 in your wallet. So for our analogy, maybe we should use the $5 to $10 in your Grab account, in your bank, in your debit card, in your credit card, for example. Now how do you price that $5 to $10? It might sound very simple. $5 is equivalent to $5, but if you take a look at it clearly, you could say the price for that $5 to $10 is, let's say, a McDonald's meal, a bottle of shampoo, a movie ticket, a pack of beer, and the list goes on. You get the point. So there is a certain price that we are willing to exchange for those currencies that we have in our wallet. So similarly, Bitcoin has a certain price that we, or maybe not us, but people who are buying and selling Bitcoin have in their mind made up an imaginary value or sum of items value. Like for example, 10,000 McDonald's meal might be equivalent to someone's imaginary value of a Bitcoin, but who is to say how much each of these Bitcoin is worth? I seriously have no idea how it works. What I do know is, because it is in a free market, so everything is determined by supply and demand, and then because Bitcoin has a limited supply, no matter how much people try to mine it, there will only be a certain amount of Bitcoin in circulation. Some might even be lost from circulation, so the total amount of Bitcoin in circulation will get smaller. In fact, once it reaches its maximum capacity, or the maximum amount of Bitcoin ever to be around. For currencies, it's pretty easy to gauge how much they are worth, just because many governments, not all, but most governments try their best to stabilize their currency, because a stable currency allows for trade between different nations. And we all know the buku bucks are made from trade, even if not trade. Tourism, I mean not now in this situation, but tourism in the future and in the past. So again, how do you value Bitcoin? Now for me, I think one example that I always give myself would be valuing Bitcoin pretty much like an art piece, like from Vincent van Gogh, for example, or from Monet or Da Vinci, some of those artworks that can sell for a lot of money, because there are many rich people, rich families out there who would want their hands on this precious limited artwork. So pretty much like Bitcoin in a way, because they are limited by how many they can be in circulation, and there is no way to reproduce them infinitely. That's why they are more highly valued with a premium attached to it, even though the art piece itself might not have any intrinsic value. Now, an intrinsic value for an art piece would be maybe the paper, the frame, the paint, the stuff that if you are able to extract out of this art, those would be the intrinsic value. So if we are dumb-dumbs and we just use intrinsic value, we can say that all art pieces are junk, or actually worth just a few cents, maybe a few dollars. And if they use very exquisite paint, maybe a few $100s, and that's it. But why we value art pieces higher than their intrinsic value is because of scarcity, the limited amount. And I do not and would never think of myself as an art master, so I would not know how to gauge art pieces, how much they should be worth. And similarly, that's the reason why I believe that for Bitcoin, I am unable to gauge how much they are worth. So for me, buying Bitcoin would be like a gamble, but for you, it might be different because you might know more things about Bitcoin that I do not know. If you do know things about Bitcoin which weren't shared in this video, please help to educate us by teaching us in the comment section, but please be kind. Feel free to explain and teach us, and I'll read up on them to increase my knowledge on Bitcoin. Who knows, maybe in the future I might buy some Bitcoin, but for now I wouldn't touch it because it's like gambling. So that's the reason why I did not buy any Bitcoin, because I do not know too much about it. So I hope it's the same for you. If you believe you know everything about Bitcoin, go ahead and buy it. But if you believe you are like me, an amateur in Bitcoin, then probably don't touch it. It might be better for you to just put your money into banks, or if you do not want banks, put your money into index fund to grow your money as the economy or the stock market grows. That's all we have for you today. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. See you guys next time.